Hey everyone, it's Dave, and today we're going to start what I hope will be an ongoing series. We're going to start doing some paint overs on artwork that you've submitted to me in the Discord server. So I've picked out 3 different pieces and we'll see what I might have done differently or add some tips and pointers to the work you've already done. Alright, starting off with this one. This looks to be a traditional media piece, which is really cool. And I really like the style. I think we need to go ahead and start to kind of just like work out the form, work out the shapes of the face, because it's very flat right now. So let's break this face out into a couple different sections. We're gonna have this middle plane here. We don't need that top part. So there's a middle plane here. We're gonna kind of presume that our light is coming in from like the top, I guess from here, from the top right into the face. More coming down, but given where you've already established the lighting on the hair, we're going to presume it's kind of coming in from that top section coming in. And so we're going to have that plane. This plane over here will also be fairly equally illuminated, if not really even more so, because it's kind of turned into it. So let's go with like a lighter color over here, and maybe a little bit too light. Just take that a little brighter, a little less saturated. And then this plane over here is going to be a good bit darker. That's turning away from the light. The blood-stained eyes, which is really cool, by the way. The sockets themselves will be in shadow, so we're going to keep like this blood-stained color, this dark color here, and this is going to be predominantly in shadow, while on the cheekbones these are going to be more in light, because again the cheekbones point, the top part up here, this points upwards, and since upwards is the direction of our light, we're going to get a lot more of that in light. The nose is going to catch. We're actually going to take like a little bit of this like mid-tone color here. It's like kind of like a half-tone, because the bridge kind of goes in a little bit. So it'll be a little bit of a half-tone, and then that'll be in light. And actually we'll go ahead and make this section right here a much brighter light. And then we'll take like that highlight color here for the top part of the cheek. And it's going to cast a bit of a shadow on this side, right? Because the way the light's going to kind of come in at that angle. So we're gonna have a little bit of a cast shadow there. Use more of the dark red color. And this will be pointing up, so we'll keep that bright color there. And then on this side, there'll be a separate plane of the face, which is turned away. So it'll also get that shadow color. So there's gonna be some other planes. So as the jaw comes in, it's going to get less light, but I wouldn't call it necessarily in shadow until it reaches kind of under the jaw, right? Gets under there, that's going to be in shadow. Same thing under the nose, that'll be in shadow. I'm going to take those lines out. The top part of the chin here, that's going to be in direct light. Same thing with this lip. This will be kind of a mid-tone right here. This will also be kind of that mid-tone color. Top part of this lip will be pointing upward, and so we'll actually give that a little bit of that mid-tone color while we continue that shadow. That will be in shadow because it'll be clipping away from where the lip is. And over here on this side, we'll have a little bit of shadow under the lips. Because remember, your lips kind of come out a little bit, right? So they create just a tiny amount of shadow in there. It's really difficult for the light to get in. But this part here will probably be largely not in shadow. We'll kind of give it a little bit more of a halftone feel. So now we've established kind of the planes of the face, right? And this should give us a much more three-dimensional look. She's got kind of like this purplish color to her hair. I think it's supposed to be like a purpley, kind of like a violet color. So maybe we'll extend that to her eyebrows. She really didn't have eyebrows before. I'm guessing this is kind of like a severed head now that I look at it. It's kind of gruesome. This flower over here is probably going to get a little bit more light than you've given it credit for, because that light's going to be kind of coming in. Now, if we wanted to, what we could do is we could make the whole shadow kind of like eclipse part of the head, so that there's like maybe something obstructing the light here, which that could be kind of fun. So let's do that. Under the neck here, this is all going to be in shadow. It's probably going to get almost no light. No direct light, I should say. So we'll just kind of blend out a little bit of this purpley color till we get kind of the look and the tone that we want. You do have some of the green, like that blue-green. It's real saturated and dark in here, which that was absolutely the right call for the shadow color in here, for the deeper shadows. Really cool. Now the eyeballs, I guess we're going with kind of like a white. So in order to get that white, what we really need is gray. And we're just going to kind of go around the eye, and then we're going to take some as red, create eyelids, take some shadow color here. We'll go real saturated, real dark. It's not black. It's just going to give us the performance of black. The lips are actually pretty good on this. They just needed to be given a little more volume. And this is going to be covered up pretty well because of its placement under the face. But yeah, so that's what you started with, and that's just a quick revision you can do to give it more volume, because it's pretty flat right there, which is fine. I mean, that's definitely a style you can go with, but you can add a ton more volume with just a few extra brush strokes in there that'll give it a little bit more character, a little more oomph, and yeah, it's a lot of fun. I'd really like to go a little bit further with that, but we're gonna move on. All right, so next up we have the sword. This was submitted by somebody, and it's pretty clear. It's just like a pencil on a piece of paper, and the design is kind of neat. I like the cross guard. There's some cool ideas in here. I just feel like the imagination in here is really, really cool. I don't know what this is supposed to be here in the middle. That's kind of an issue for me. So maybe we'll go through this crossguard section and then come back to it. So I'm just going to lay down some yellow in here. We have this really, really, really long and incredible handle. And I'm kind of imagining it to be kind of like a lance handle, where it's kind of like has that little like that pommel down at the end, and then so it could be like double, I guess, Zweihander. It can be double wielded. This like spider web, almost like crossguard, is messing with my head. This thing's insane. It's so much extra metal. You have to be like Kratos strong, or Hercules to wield this thing. I feel a couple of different ways about this sword. Like, it would be really cool to do like a stained glass texture kind of look on the inside. It would also be really cool if it was just like arcing electricity or something like that. And I think that, you know, if it were me, I would do like the stained glass look. In this case here, there's a couple of different ways you can handle this kind of symmetry in Photoshop. There's a symmetrical brush tool where it'll actually paint on the other side at the same time as you're doing this. That would work. So like here we can do like the line of symmetry right here down the middle, and see how it just like does everything like completely symmetrical. So we're going to take this brush here, we're going to go from the center, and you have like this ridiculous shape that I like actually kind of super love. We're gonna go bigger with it. And the reason why I want to go bigger with it is because I kind of like the idea of the stained glass on the inside. And there you go. So the original was like this, and our new one is like that. I'll put them side by side. So, and see, it's just like how like the blade being straight. Notification popping up. This blade being straight and just kind of like tidying up like that kind of stuff and giving it a design that makes the sword feel just like way more epic, way more majestic, and it's just, to me, it's just a lot more fun, and it just feels like just incredibly more dangerous this way. So if you're gonna go more non-traditional with your blade designs, go all the way, do something fun, do something unique. So anyway, next one. All right, so this one's kind of fun. I don't normally do like cartoon stuff, but this one just kind of struck me as fun and unique. You had all these different designs on here, and this one just had the most personality right here. And I realized that it's much more close to a sketch at this phase. You can still see a lot of the sketch lines and everything than like a finished product, but I thought it was a lot of fun, and I felt like there was a lot that we could do with this. So yeah, so step one, I want to kind of paint out everybody else. I don't give a shit about them. These appear to be digital sketches. Looks that way, very much so. So this is a little bit more back to my wheelhouse. It looks like he's wearing some sort of like a helmet. Tokyo Fire Team. It's kind of cool. And we're trying to kind of like describe, I guess, like this, like the strap, I mean, right here. We probably wouldn't see it that much from this side. You know, maybe a tiny sliver, maybe? I don't know. Maybe not even that. I'm guessing it's like some sort of like kind of like a koboldish face. To be honest with you, I kind of like the sketch line look on this one a little bit. It reminds me a lot of like that what they call the Disney Xerox era. If you go back and watch, like Disney's Robin Hood is a perfect example of that. Snow White as well, where just like they would use Xerox machines to copy their cells to get them to like during the animation. Well, a lot of times that would leave like the original sketch lines and things like that in there. So it was actually kind of sloppy animation work, but it just looks cool because every now and then you'll see like those curvature lines and the sketch lines, and it just, I don't know, it just kind of has a feel that I honestly felt like Disney should have leaned into that. I thought that was the most fun part. So with this character here, we really want to kind of, first things, I gotta keep painting these out. It's gonna drive me nuts. I'm gonna get lost in all the sketch lines. The first thing we really want to do is kind of like establish the volume and the shape of the face and the horns and everything. I'm guessing this is supposed to have like those like neon green horns. So we're gonna go with like a dark yellow green for the shade color. Maybe we'll do like a light coming from like the top. So for like this gray, I'm presuming it's fur. We're gonna make it a little bit yellowy. And what we're going to do here, like I said, is kind of establish the volume and the curve and the shape of everything, because right now it's just like incredibly flat, right? Like I said, I'm going to presume that this is all fur, and then this nose, we'll kind of give it more of like a goblin kind of look. I could be wrong. These could be like fish gills or something like that. I kind of like the idea of that better personally. And maybe we'll make them a little more scaly then. These will all be pointing upward. And these eyeballs, I want to make them a little more in shadow on the top and the side there. More in shadow. Same thing with these red eyes. Like, I would really warn you about using such bold and vibrant colors like this, because they will vibrate. In fact, I'm going to tone down. I'm going to tone down the vibrance of the eyes a little bit. I just feel like they're going to vibrate really, really, really hard against every other color, and when they do that, it just doesn't look good. I can appreciate the attempt to go real nuclear with these colors, but I just think that it's not really doing you any true favors, even stylistically. It's just making it a little bit harder to see the image. Let's actually make this a little bit more saturated, a little bit darker, so it kind of gives up a little bit more of like a greenish gray hue. So look at that. And again, we're going to try to get rid of these lines. And I'm not sure if like this is the direction you wanted to go with this creature design, but you gave me permission to paint it over, so that's what you get. Down here, this uniform, I'm gonna go with like that dark hunter green for the shadow here. And then we'll go with like that, more of like a olive with a highlight. I think the helmet will largely carry the same look. Now with these horns, they kind of have like a weird like they fatten up as they go out, which means that this helmet needs to have a hole in it for that. So maybe we do like a hole in here. I'm just getting the edge of the hole that helps us establish that yes, indeed, in fact, you know, this company that makes these helmets has thought about the fact that not everyone is going to have the same shape and size horn setup. The highlight for this helmet, I'm gonna go brighter, saturated. So since the light is coming from the top, we're gonna get a highlight, and it has a rim here, right? So this rim's probably gonna catch a little bit of that. This badge is gonna need a nice little highlighted edge. Give it a bevel. It's all about bevels today. I'm probably not going to have all the time to really like polish this one up to the level that I'd really want to kind of like give you a better indication of what you can do. But I really think that just even looking at this so far, you should get an idea that you really weren't that far off, especially in design of you know, I kind of like the idea of that tattoo being like purple instead of green. It just kind of sits in there better. It competes less with the horns, which are that crazy lime green color. and we don't want them to compete. But yeah, get rid of the lines, which you may have been going there anyway on your own accord, because I'm just assuming that this image was far from done given the sketch lines are still there. And I don't recommend, and it could be just the way that you prefer to do your work, I don't recommend using like bright colors that don't exist in your image, like purples and so that for your sketch lines. It may work better for your process, but I don't recommend it because in this case here where you've incorporated them into your work, they're just really, really, really hard to get rid of. But if it works for you, do it. Let's take the gray of these eyes and we'll make them just like a slight pink kind of color. But I think you can see where I'm going with this is like as soon as we eliminate these violet lines and we start to add some volume to your character, it makes a world of difference. You know, your character goes from being just like a flat sketch to being something that you get an idea of. And I'm not really altering too much of what, I mean, I might have altered like I don't know if that was supposed to be like feathers or if it was supposed to be like more like hard gills or something like that. I was thinking of like an axolotl lizard having like those like frilly like little gill bits. But anyway, yeah. That's still your design through and through, and then of course you can decorate up the badge as you want to. We'll go with like a much brighter, less saturated the highlight on here. Yellow color, there we go. So that kind of does up your badge design. I'm even still not entirely thrilled with the values on here. Should probably make that a little bit more in shadow. There we are. And so bam, there's our original. That's what we could do with just a little bit of care and attention to creating the volumes. So boom. Alright guys, that's gonna do it for this edition. If you feel like you'd like to send something in and see how we can kind of like just spruce it up a little bit, join the Discord. Link will be down below. Also, don't forget to pick up my ebook, which has 10 tips to make you a better fantasy illustrator. All tips that I actually use, and they should be pretty useful to you too, I'd hope. All that is available in the Discord or through my website. All those links are in the description below. And feel free to join me on the next issue of this and all my other videos. So hope you guys have a lovely day and an even better tomorrow. Thanks so much. Take care. I'll see ya. Bye.